Three cops secretly follow an 8-year-old girl home. What they discovered changed everything. It all started just like any other quiet day in a peaceful suburban neighborhood. Birds chirped, children laughed as they played, and neighbors greeted one another with warm smiles across their neatly trimmed lawns. But beneath this picture-perfect scenery, something unexpected, something unimaginable, was happening. Three police officers sat parked in an unmarked car, just a few blocks away from an elementary school. Their faces, filled with both curiosity and determination, showed that this wasn't just another routine patrol. They weren't responding to a call, either.
No.
This was something different, because at that moment, they were watching an 8-year-old girl. But before you jump to conclusions, let's rewind to where it all started. A video that changed everything. Earlier that morning, Officer Daniel Hayes was scrolling through his phone during a quick coffee break when something caught his eye. A viral video was spreading across social media like wildfire. It showed a little girl, small in frame, yet bursting with determination, standing outside her school. She held up a cardboard sign, its message simple but heart-wrenching. "Please help my family." The video quality was grainy, but her voice? Crystal clear. With eyes full of both fear and courage, she spoke into the camera, addressing anyone who would listen. "My mommy is sick, and we don't have food. If you can help, please help." The clip ended with her nervously shifting her weight, glancing around as if she wasn't even sure she should be there. Daniel watched the video twice. His heart clenched. Something about the way this tiny child spoke, with so much bravery yet so much pain, hit him harder than he expected. Without hesitation, he forwarded the video to two of his closest colleagues, Officers Maria Lopez and Jordan Carter. His message? "We need to find her. The search begins." By the time their shift ended, the three officers had positioned themselves outside the elementary school, waiting for dismissal. They had no name, no background, no leads, only that one viral video and a strong feeling that this little girl needed help. What they didn't realize was that this decision would take them on a journey they would never forget. The school bell rang. Children flooded out in a wave of laughter, colorful backpacks bouncing as they rushed to their parents or toward the bus stops. And then there she was. They spotted her immediately. The same timid smile, the same pigtails, the same worn-out backpack that she clutched like it held her entire world. She was alone. The officers exchanged glances. Without speaking, they silently agreed. They needed to follow her. At first, they assumed she lived nearby. But as they continued to track her from a distance, their assumptions were quickly shattered. She walked and walked, her small legs carrying her farther than they expected. Block after block, she marched with purpose, weaving through streets, crossing intersections, and slipping into narrow alleys.
The scenery changed.
The polished houses and well-kept lawns slowly faded into something else. Crumbling buildings, graffiti-covered walls, and abandoned lots. It became clear she was heading toward a part of town that most people avoided. A shocking discovery. Finally, after what felt like forever, she arrived. A rundown apartment complex stood before her. The officers watched as she carefully opened the door and slipped inside. Daniel turned to Maria and Jordan. "We can't leave it at this." Maria nodded. "Let's find out what's going on." Stepping out of their vehicle, the officers made their way toward the building. Inside, the air was thick with mildew. Dim lights flickered as they climbed the creaky stairs. Then, at the end of the second-floor hallway, they saw her. The little girl stood on her tiptoes, struggling to fit a rusty, oversized key into a lock. Her tiny fingers trembled as she twisted and turned it, desperate to get inside. That's when she noticed them. Her eyes widened in panic. "I didn't steal anything. I promise," she blurted out. Her voice shook as she clutched her backpack tighter, as if afraid they were about to take it from her. Daniel immediately crouched down to her level, his hands raised in a calming gesture. Hey, it's okay," he said softly. "We're not here to get you in trouble. We saw your video. We just want to make sure you're all right." The girl hesitated, biting her lip. Then, without a word, she pushed the door open. "You can see for yourself," she whispered. What they saw next made their hearts drop. The apartment was dark, cold, and nearly empty. A sagging couch, a broken table, and a single mattress on the floor were all that filled the space. And there, lying on that mattress, was a woman, motionless. The officers froze. Their hands instinctively moved toward their radios, but before they could react, the little girl stepped forward. "That's my mommy," she said quickly. "She's not dead. She's just tired." Maria rushed over, kneeling beside the woman. She stirred slightly, her eyelids fluttering open as she whispered weakly, "Please don't take her away." Jordan looked around the apartment, his stomach tightening. The cupboards were bare. The fridge was empty, except for a half-full bottle of water. And on the table, a pile of unpaid bills. The little girl spoke again, her voice trembling. "She got sick after Daddy left. I tried to help, but..." Her words broke off as tears spilled down her cheeks. "I just want her to get better." An unforgettable act of kindness. Daniel felt a lump in his throat. He had seen poverty, illness, and broken families before. But something about this little girl, her courage, her strength, hit harder than anything he had ever witnessed. And he wasn't the only one who felt it. That night, the 3 officers stayed with the family for hours. Maria called an ambulance to get the mother to a hospital. Jordan ran to a nearby grocery store and returned with bags of food. And Daniel? He sat beside the little girl, listening to her talk about school, her favorite books, and how she dreamed of becoming a doctor one day. When paramedics arrived, the girl clung to her mother. "Don't take her away. I'll be good. I'll do better," she sobbed. Maria gently embraced her. "Sweetheart, your mom needs to get better. We'll make sure you're safe while she does, okay?" After a long pause, the little girl finally nodded, wiping away her tears. But the officers didn't stop there. They worked behind the scenes, securing food, shelter, and resources for the family. They even started a fundraiser to cover medical bills and rent. Weeks later, when the mother returned home, she burst into tears. Not just because of the help, but because those same 3 officers were waiting at her door, smiling. And then, the little girl handed them a crumpled drawing. 3 stick-figure police officers, holding hands with her and her mom. Above it, in shaky letters, she had written, "My heroes." And that's when they cried, because this is what it means to serve. Backhand index pointing right if this story moved you. Comment where you're watching from and drop a red heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring stories.